The funny thing is that in the world today, I think more artists, especially in entertainment, such as actors, actresses, and producers and directors, have more platforms now to display their work than ever before. You got Netflix, you have Amazon Prime, you have Hulu. I can go on, right? And that's the good thing, where now, due to what we are in now, we're going in the current situation, a lot of artists of color, especially African American, can now go to multiple different platforms, multiple different networks, and be able to present their product and their art. Where let's take a look back maybe 20 years ago. Oh, I got HBO, I got the regular cable networks, and then I have ABC, NBC, and CBS, and throw in Fox in there, right? Where it's kind of like, okay, well, it's a small phone tool. Now, with everything being open, it's really, like you said, producing your product and putting it out there for someone to pick it up, and having more options for it to get picked up as well. So I think this is really a great time for a lot of Black storytelling. And like I said earlier, I know Brian commented it before, the responsibility of telling our stories that's owned and told by us, not by a corporation or other groups of people that don't know us, right? Yeah. So you take a look at Netflix. I mean, they have a whole, Black film series just for us. They even have a campaign talk about strong lead. If you see it online,
strong Black lead,
Black lead, right? So that, to me, I gotta give kudos to Netflix, because they took it to a whole nother level. Like we're not just gonna have the library or the catalog, we're going to promote the catalog, right? And we're going to also reach out to Black writers and producers to take a look at their talent on a global scale, right? And Amazon Prime is kind of following that same direction. Hulu is catching up a little bit, which is owned by Disney Plus and Disney itself, so it's a whole different other show. But I think that's where it's exciting, is we can get more artists to invest in themselves. And like you said earlier, I asked the question, if I am a person that want to break into the industry and get my work started, and to get out there, like you said, you have to really invest in yourself first, and then second, find that tribe. And I think those two elements are very important, especially now in Hollywood, because you really have faith and trust in yourself and your product and your artwork. You find the tribe, something's going to happen when someone will pick you up.
Yeah.
Myron, with that being said, I got a question for you, Asha. If you are picked up, and is there any non-negotiables you have in your script where if someone's asking you to change the storyline and the character, or is there things where you say, I absolutely will not change as a part of this? Or are there elements where you say, okay, I'm okay with sacrificing this part of my creativity for the film to get the notoriety, to get the TV time that it needs?
It's so funny because my mother, like I said, she's a producer, and we have the kind of, not argument, but we have the back and forth a lot of times. Her thing is, you have to play the game.
Strong debates.
Strong debate. She's very, you have to learn to play the game. There's give and take. You can't go hard, all the time. Or do things your way all the time. We have that thing. Because I know how I like to work. And I have the belief that if there's something that I want, it is available to me. So if I want to work this way, if I really feel strongly about it, I'm gonna figure out a way to get it done. And it is non-negotiable for me, because I know that it's I can. But there are some things that do come up that I don't feel as strongly about. And I think I don't know if that's the right way to frame it, but I do feel like you do have to have your non-negotiables and things that you're not going to compromise on. But at the same time, they're you do have to compromise. My mom was right in some, at some times, and I think that it's not a bad kind of thing. I definitely don't have all the answers. And so I realized that I have to be open to that it's better for me. It's in my best interest to be open to change. I've been in so many situations where, thank God, I was open to the idea of changing an idea or something, because it became better because of my flexibility. So yeah, I definitely try to remember that, to not hold tight to everything. Change can be great.
I do have a question. I know, how can I say this? I know where sometimes there's challenges of someone of color and being an African-American woman that you may have faced in the past in your profession, right? It could be in the boardroom, could be behind the camera. What was one of your challenges that you faced, in your career as an African-American woman, and how did you overcome that challenge and work out to where you got to the end game, if that makes sense?
One thing that I feel like I met as a challenge often, because I had to learn the lessons, but I came into this industry thinking that my mom is a producer. She's got all these people, that are friends, and I can kind of get in with them, work it in with them, and they're cool. And I don't know, came in super naive, and then also like I said, I had that first production where I worked on Effie Brown's film, and that was amazing and awesome and inspiring. And then I went out onto other productions, and I realized that I had to learn what exactly white supremacy looks like in those spaces, and misogyny and that looks like in those spaces. I didn't recognize it. I didn't really know what it was, or what was going on well, I did know what was going on. I absolutely did know what was going on, but there weren't as many other people who look like me in that space. And so when I went to HR about something, I didn't expect to not get help. I didn't expect that people in higher ranks would turn a blind eye. And all of that was really hard to kind of recognize, and eventually, after hitting a wall again and again and again, I was like, okay, I gotta do something different. Also, somebody on one of my shows pulled me aside and said, a couple people pulled me aside and said, I see what you're dealing with. I see what's going on. You're not crazy. You're not alone. I see what's going on. I recommend that you leave, that you find another place to be. And out of love, and also maybe see somebody, maybe see a therapist or someone. And about because that stuff, especially, I don't know about other industries, I've only worked in entertainment. A lot of that stuff, mistreatment, racism, sexism, all of the discrimination and stuff, that stuff goes on, and the system is like rigged against you, there are not enough people at the table, in the room, a lot of times, in my experience. And what I ended up kind of doing is realizing that I needed to start making my own stuff. I needed to start creating my stuff. I needed to start, hooking up with people like me who want to do what I want to do and who like to work how I like to work. And that started to take me out of those type of situations. I was no longer encountering the brick wall. And yeah, I think Yeah, that was definitely my biggest challenge. And like I said, multiple like, you know, shows. I was like, damn, this is a thing. and yeah, there are a lot of times not people there to validate your struggle or what you're dealing with, and it's painful to watch other people turn a blind eye to that kind of stuff.
Now, are you connected or a member of any, I guess, union or organization that supports Black artists, Black writers in the industry, and how that experience and how that's helped you regarding your career as well?
I'm not, but I plan to be as soon as I'm able. One of the film festivals that I went to for Til Death, Urban World, they held like a DGA kind of meeting with Cassie Lemons, and I was like, okay, I'll be joining. As soon as I'm able, I will be there. So yeah.
Okay, and what was the name of the organization again?
DGA, yeah.
Shout out to DGA.
That's the Directors Guild.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to be a part of that one day. I definitely feel like it's funny because did you guys watch that interview with Meghan Markle and Oprah? And you watched that? Oh my gosh, that was so triggering.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, and when she talked about unions, I was like, yeah, okay. There's got to be some, you know, there's somebody that helps, great. There's somebody that could, you know, because I definitely have been in so many situations where I'm like, where is that, you know, who do I go to? And that's also how I ended up having a lot of mentors. My mom has always kind of taught me, I think I was like 13 or 14 when for, you know, my birthday, she brought in a bunch of older women to sit around me and for me to ask questions to. And she always taught me that there were people somewhere, you know, there are people who can help you and people who can guide you, especially your elders. And I feel like situations like the ones that I was describing, I often found my way out also by looking for guidance from older or from people. And I got that. I have a lot of mentorship. I think that's also a great thing that's helped me in my career.
Shout out to the aunties again. Bring that protective shield. They bring that protective shield. I'm telling you, man.
Oh.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Oh man. So this has definitely been a joy. I don't want to. We could talk to you all night just because of what you do and then how it is that you're looking to have an impact on our community, and particularly, you know, for me, you know, I love film, I love television, and so just having this conversation with you as an artist, as a writer, director, and just as, you know, an empowered Black woman, you know, which we have to understand and come to terms as Black men that this is where we actually live in or we should play to the strengths of the fact that as people of African descent, that we are a matriarchal society. That is our strength. And until we lean into that, we'll probably, you know, not get along as quickly and as far as we could. And I think listening to a sister like yourself definitely allows me to be hopeful to the future. You know what I mean? The things that we'll be able to do and the wisdom that you were able to kind of just lay out for us in terms of what your process is as a writer, as a director, but just as a sister out there trying to make a difference, which at the end of the day, you know, we should all be so hopeful to be able to make a difference in our respective industries. But Myron, I'll turn it over to you and Corey, you know, for your closing thoughts.
I want to say, hey, thank you for coming on the show. The information you provide is going to help our viewers and maybe some aspiring writer or producer in the future. And, you know, this is the reason why Apolitical exists, because we want to make sure we take these conversations on a higher plane, on a higher level. So we definitely want you to come back on the show. We definitely want to promote your pilot once you kind of get it all taken care of and find a platform for it to be used. And we want to also maybe come back and maybe have a panel in the future, talk more about the responsibility of filmmaking and the art of entertainment when it comes to our people and our culture. So Asana, thank you for coming on. I appreciate the conversation. I really do.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity to get to meet you and to hear about the wonderful work that you're doing. It's so authentic and it's so heartfelt in what your presentation, what you're saying, and I just look forward to seeing the films and seeing the products that come out, and also it's a blessing to know that in the film industry that you're speaking truth to power, and you're taking on this fight, and there's and there's on the biblical side they say fight the good fight, and it really is a good fight. It's a good fight that you're fighting every day to make sure that our voices are heard and there are images of people that look like us in film and in great roles. So we really appreciate this opportunity. And I look forward to connecting with you in the near future.
Same. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for
yes,
having
Ashanta. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Asha.
Asha, I'm sorry. I apologize, Asha.
That was the second one. I let you go on the first one.
Yeah,
The second one, I was
Asha.
like, nah, bro.
Okay. My apologies, Asha.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. What you guys are doing is so important. So important. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to be on your show. So thank you.
And with that, we want to thank you for joining us at Apolitical. Please stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to be blessed and have Asha on the show again, and maybe a wrap conversation for the web series, right? So we can start talking about how it went, everything that has transpired. You know, do you have a distributor set up, and maybe we can help promote and help you connect to a distributor, right? These are the things that we do. Thanks for joining Apolitical. Have a great night, everyone.